foods, we just try to reduce the amount of salt,
Okay.
reduce the amount of oil, reduce the amount of sugar. That is basically the three main nutrients that we will try to pay attention to.
Correct.
So for instance, you try to limit the amount of oil when cooking, or try to choose different ways and methods of cooking that will reduce the amount of oil and so on in it, the amount of sodium, meaning you try to use less packet seasonings. And in Trinidad, we're so accustomed with, you have your seasonings in the
Your backyard, right?
So you can avoid using the
salt. Too
Correct.
much salt. Let the seasoning
processed.
enhance your flavor.
Exactly.
And instead of frying in oil, you could bake.
Exactly.
So pies
Simple.
and so on, you could stick it in the oven and you will get the same taste without the oil.
But this would means that it will be, you'll have to put in a little bit effort to reap the benefits.
Of good healthy
Correct.
eating. And nothing comes without hard work, right?
Exactly.
But healthy eating, starting from a young age, will get ingrained into you kind of thing. And if you induce that culture of healthy eating, it works. Because I have some friends and they don't use sugar at all in their tea. And they inculcate that taste.
Exactly.
Whereas some people can't do without the sugar, which is a norm for most people. So you have to train your young ones perhaps. And yourself, as parent, we must set the example too when we eat, to get our children to eat healthy as well.
And as you mentioned that, we as a profession currently celebrating National Nutrition Awareness Week, which occurred in the first week of June actually.
Okay.
Yeah, with the theme this year being Building a Healthy Future, Bite by Bite. So as you mentioned, starting these habits to inculcate from a young age is very important, because what the habits that we learn or adapt from small is what we'll carry in our future.
And the growing up, the kids, they will acquire that taste to be healthy. So they wouldn't eat too much of junk food, snacks, give them healthy snacks. We
Exactly.
talk about that. And less salt and sugar, which is a good beginning to start with. So parents out there who have toddlers, teenagers, young ones, that's the message for them. Start early with them and set the example. Don't tell them you
Exactly.
eat this and are you eating something else.
That's where it starts.
Right? So we too, but it is important because, as you said, diseases, lifestyle affect and the diseases. So we need to make sure adults, aunties, uncles, grandma, grandpa, everybody have to adjust, because diabetes, as you said now,
Yeah.
is the #1 disease in Trinidad. And that's we have to really think what we're doing. We
and
can't.
it's not just for the adult population, it is affecting, and it has been affecting the younger population
Look at
as well.
that now. And that
children.
stems from mostly eating poorly or not healthy.
Correct. Exactly.
Wow,
And
wow.
a big contributor is the sugar sweetened beverages.
Yes,
That is
the beverages. And I know for a fact that they are trying to get these beverage makers to put less sugar in their drinks. Less sugar. And that should be a law or whatever. But I know the schools, for
Yeah.
example, they are asking them to not put so much sugar in their drinks. And water is always a good substitute for everything.
Correct. And I don't think we're drinking enough of that at all.
At all.
Could
Yeah.
always do it some more.
Right. So school bags, school lunches should have the bottle of water.
The bottle, at least a bottle
Of
or
water
more.
with
Yeah.
them, yes,
Yeah.
instead of the sweet drinks, which
Correct.
don't really contribute to
No.
nutritional benefits,
So actually
sadly.
it contains empty calories, meaning it doesn't provide any nutrients. So you'll be getting calories, you'll be putting on weight, your blood sugars would be rising, but you're not getting any vitamins,
From it.
any nutrients from it.
Because some of them are artificial flavors, it's not the real fruit juice as
Exactly.
such. Flavored drinks, and we think we're drinking whatever flavor you have there.
Yeah,
And it's not the real thing, you know.
it's not. It's not.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, people complain that household, we're living on a tight budget. Prices are going up in the groceries as we shop. So, what suggestion you would have for householders there about affordable, nutritious staples families should always keep in their kitchen or purchase, how to buy wisely?
So one of the most important thing in terms of shopping is to plan.
Okay.
And this can be applied to any aspect of life,
Not just
right?
running in the grocery and say,
Yeah.
pick up this, that.
Correct. You don't want to run in like a headless chicken, blindfolded, you know. You want to plan in advance. It will take some time as well, but you take your time, plan out your meals for the entire week, so you will know what you're cooking. You'll have an idea. 'Cause if you go in the grocery aimlessly, sometimes if you go in and you're hungry, you might be on some aisles that you may not want to be on, right? You'll be going towards the sugary, the high-fat items, the snacks, things that does not provide any nutritional benefit towards you. So one of the main things it would be to consider the 6 food groups, right? Because you want to try and have nutritious meals for the week, right? Consider your 6 food groups, which is your staples, your legumes, your food from animals, right? Your vegetables, fruits, and fats.
Right.
So from your staples, you want to try and choose a couple items that you know you can interchange and that would be affordable. So for instance, if you know you buy provisions or rice, you know, these items, oats even, you can use it in different ways.
Okay,
you know?
so that's a good tip for parents out there. Oats, provision, and I think ground provision is acceptable.
Yeah, everything is acceptable.
But there's the quantity again.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you know, as you say, eating healthy, what you look for or avoid sometimes parents shopping or you shopping, labels or things to avoid whilst grocery shopping. What's some tips you can sell our householders there?
Correct. So actually, in some groceries now we see some of the food labels being showcased at the front. So that is something positive that the dietitians are trying to implement. But 2 important things you want to just look at. I know it can be like a whole school when you look at the label. You think you're going back to school with all the numbers and so on, right? But to make it simple, you want to look at the serving size. For instance, 1 bottle of juice, for example, or soft drink can be 2 to 3 servings in just 1 bottle. So if you look at the amount of calories and so on in it, you
Right.
might think that is for the entire bottle.
And
But the
that's-
serving might just be for 1.
Once.
So if
So
you
look-
multiply now, that will be very dangerous.
And
So
if you have the whole bottle at
Exactly.
you're doubling up on your
doubling and
calories.
tripling, exactly. So one would be to look at the serving size to have an idea of what's going on there. And the second thing is have an idea of the ingredient listing
Okay.
of that product, because it goes in terms of weight. So the first ingredient you see on a product, it would be the ingredient with the most weight in that product. So for instance, if you see sugar as the first ingredient, that product contains the majority of sugar. So you have to look out for words like glucose syrup, high fructose corn syrup, cane sugar. All of these are important words to look out for.
So in other words, you are telling our public they read the labels of the things you are purchasing.
Correct.
Look at it and read it. And we are educating the parents, the shoppers out there. Read
Yeah.
your labels, read your labels,
Yeah.
of course. All right. So another question is everyday habits. What does a balanced plate look like for the average Trinbagonian? And we have some slides, and we will go through the slides, and we will speak to it, and you will talk to our audience about it.
Yeah. So,
Go ahead.
right. So one of the main important things here would be to understand that where we get our information. The Ministry of Health, Trinidad and Tobago, provides evidence-based information, right? We have to seek out health professionals, qualified health professionals. You know, we have dietitians that is available throughout the country, in the hospital clinics, in the health centers, and so on, right? And you have, as I said, your Ministry of Health as a local body. You have the Caribbean Public Health Agency as a regional body. You also have the World Health Organization as a international body. All of that to say, you have
This
to...
is what your plate should look like.
Correct.
And perhaps you could go through this slide, and we have a green half of the plate should be.
So that green half really should be your vegetables. Something that is not common to most of us, yeah?
Good.
So that
Thanks.
green half of your
Right.
plate should be your vegetables, be it cooked or uncooked.
Okay.
And it doesn't have to be vegetables that you're not accustomed with, vegetables that you don't like. It can be something,
And
whatever that
true,
you may
have
like.
lettuce, tomato,
Yeah.
cauliflower, bodi.
Correct. And
Right.
all of these can be things that you can even grow
And-
for yourself,
Yes.
if possible, if you have the space and so on. So really half of your plate should be vegetables, be it cooked or uncooked.
All right.
Yeah. The
And-
next side of the plate now, quarter of your plate should be your staple food, as we mentioned before. So be it your brown rice, your ground provisions, your pasta, if it's bread, whatever it may be in terms of staples, that is quarter of your plate. Not the entire plate first being your staples, your rice, then on top of it you put in your peas and beans and chicken. No, we have to try something a little bit different here, right?
Right.
And the next quarter would be your foods from animals or legumes, that is your protein sources.
Right.
Yeah, your legumes are your peas and beans and so on.
Chicken, fish.
Chicken, fish, eggs, whatever it is, right?
there. Okay.
Right, and a beverage of choice, always water. Even if you want a little fizz, you could try sparkling water. Yeah, and you
Okay.
can have your fruits and so on in between your meals as a
Okay.
healthy snack.
Healthy snack. So you give us a plate there, what it should ideally be like, and we hope our listeners take heed of this. All right, and our next slide, we're going to talk about calories, which you hinted just now. So let's hear what you have to say about your calories here now.
Right, so basically, this is a word that has been thrown around. People may not understand, but calories is just the amount of energy that a food has in it.
Right.
And each person would require a different amount based on their lifestyle, based on, their condition currently and so on.
Correct.
Yeah, so your calories would vary. And that's why sometimes if you want to tailor your needs, you can sit one-on-one with a dietitian and you can work out a plan that
Right.
would suit you.
Based on your needs,
Correct,
your
based on your
activities,
activity
and so
level,
on.
stress level,
Everything.
and those kind of things.
All right, so calories are
Yeah.
there. We identify the meaning of calories. All right, and our next slide is on how do calorie requirements vary, and we talk about that, and you could
Exactly.
reinforce what you said there.
Yeah, so calorie needs vary, and as I said, it's based on even your gender as well.
Okay.
Sometimes, males or females, it might vary.
Because
you know.
a hardworking male out there in the outside working, a laborer,
Yeah.
will be different from a male doing a sedentary job.
Correct.
All right, so
Yeah.
it depends on your activity. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So on the average, as the slide would mention, average calorie needs for a male or female per day ranges between 2,000 to 2,500
Wow.
a day,
Per day.
right?
So
yeah,
you
for
could,
adult.
and most people don't even think about calories, how
No.
much you're eating, or add. I know some conscious people do that.
Correct.
They add up their calories, but some of us just go beyond, I am sure, the 2,500 per
And
day.
why it's important is calorie in versus calorie out. What that means, what you take in, if you don't burn it out, it would just be
Kept inside.
kept inside and storing. Yeah, so if we overconsume and overindulge over time, it can add up.
And that will lead to weight gain,
Weight gain,
diabetes,
insulin resistance,
insulin. Okay.
and eventually diabetes.
So viewers out there, if you didn't start checking your calories, it's time to start checking it and watching at it in order to get a healthier lifestyle, a healthier body, in fact. Okay, so we have our next slide coming up, and I think that one is on salt, which is one of my questions about salt.
Right. Yeah, so salt, the average intake is for like 1 teaspoon of salt per day. Some person might say, well, I don't need salt, my blood pressure high, avoiding salt. That is not necessary. You can still have your salt, as the slide mentioned, your body needs salt.
Yes.
So don't feel shy to, you can still use salt when cooking, Yeah, your body needs salt to maintain water balance and so on, control body temperature, etc. But however, what's important is the processed foods and the packaged items that we use contains high amounts of sodium that we're
Right.
not even aware of.
Correct.
Yeah, the ultra processed foods and so on.
Because that's part of the preserving
Correct.
salt there.
Yeah.
All right. And as you said, too much salt could lead to high blood pressure, which again another serious non-communicable disease in Trinidad and Tobago. And then as I mentioned, I know some people say they have cramps, and that's because of lack of salt, isn't it? Sometimes.
Sometimes, eh?
Sometimes. So we have
Yeah.
to balance everything in
Balance.
moderation.
Everything in
Everything
moderation.
in balance. That
Yeah.
that you know.
So you still
eating-
want to cook your food and make sure it tastes good
it
as
tastes
well.
okay, but I know some people manage to cook with
Yeah.
less salt and they
Yeah.
acquired the taste
Right,
after
correct.
a while.
Over
So,
time.
Over time. So if you have an elder at home or whatnot, you should start preparing with diabetes
Yeah.
or hypertension. The message is start using less salt.
Less salt.
And with time, they might acquire that taste for less salt and it will be very helpful for them.
And there's a good point you brought up there. This information here is something that we can start slowly.
Right.
Nobody say that we need to cut out everything and
No.
you know.
Yeah,
It's
gradually.
a gradual.
Yeah.
It's about moderation, balance. It's a balanced lifestyle. So you start gradually, reduce the amount of sugar you have,
Yep.
reduce the amount of soft drink you consume, you know, etc.
And ready make, well, some say juices, some say juice drink.
Yeah.
And now they're putting it on the pack. It's not a
Yeah.
juice, it's a drink,
Yeah.
meaning it has artificial flavors.
So it's not better than your soft drink.
Yes.
If you want to have juice, you would have 100% juice, which is very rare on the market.
Exactly. But you know, this brings me to a point. We have lots of tropical fruits here in season, watermelon, pawpaw, the mangoes. And if parents take the time to make these juices for the family, and I know everybody have a busy schedule, but we can get your kids with you and make healthy juices, drinks, store it in the fridge, and your family at large will enjoy a better, more nutritious drink.
Yeah, and this is a good point you brought up. But I'll make a little tweak to it. The juices are a good option.
Yeah.
But if we juice the fruits, sometimes the fiber would be extracted as well. So sometimes what we can do is blend. We can blend it instead, so where the
Yeah.
fiber will still remain.
Remain in it. Instead
Right.
of juicing it, blend
Instead of
it.
juicing
Well, I
it.
think I probably meant blend the
Yeah.
fruits. So
Yeah.
you get everything in it.
Everything.
Because somebody is telling me that the white in the watermelon supposed to be very nutritious, and that's the part we don't eat.
No, we don't eat.
But if we're going to blend it and we
Yeah.
cut that and blend it
Yeah,
with the
you
red part,
You wouldn't be seeing it. Nobody would know.
and you don't lose the taste.
Correct.
I personally have done it, and your taste didn't go.
And you could also experiment. You know, you add different fruits and vegetables together and come up with something.
Yeah, because if your kids, all right, they don't like, say, celery or some of
Yeah.
them hash thing or whatever, and you mix it, camouflage it in the drink, and you blend it, and you give
Yeah.
them beetroot, a little
Yeah.
piece with the drink, you blend it up, and there you go, a healthier drink
Yeah.
for a child especially.
Yeah, and especially as I mentioned, children could be popsicles and all
You
of
could
these
make all
things,
those things,
you
and
know.
then we probably will come to snacks in the next one to tell you that this is what you can do. And again, as I said, we are all working people, but we need to spend time with your kids making these things and preparing it for them. We can get them involved in their own food
Correct.
preparation, drink popsicles instead of buying the ready-made one. And it will take some time, but in
take
the
some time,
end,
yeah.
everybody will benefit from it.
And start from small and implement these habits from young.
Okay, so and we have another slide coming up, ways to reduce salt.
Right. So, as the slide mentioned, very simple. You try to use your fresh, your local, your seasonal fruits, your vegetables, and so on. You try to avoid, your packaged items, your processed meats, things that the kids love, especially,
Yep.
the sausages
And the hot dog.
Exactly.
Right.
Again, these things you can have it but try for it not to be your focal point in your diet every
I know that
day.
some people take it as their main meal. It's a
Yeah,
quick fix, eh?
it is, it
It
is.
takes a little bit of effort. Get up a little bit
Yeah.
earlier and make a proper sandwich for your child instead of giving them the hot dog and the sausages.
Yeah, and then you're topping it with the
All the
sauces
condiments
and the-
that are
exactly.
okay instead of lettuce and tomato. Okay, we have another slide. The carbs. We talk about it, so you can explain what are the carbohydrates.
Right. Well, this one gets a bad rap. Many people say,
Yeah.
this person say to, I can't eat roti, and I can't eat this, and I can't eat that. Most of it stems with carbs. But we can have the carbs. Most of our foods contains carbohydrates. Our
Okay.
vegetables contain carbohydrates. Fruits, yeah,
Okay.
our milk, everything contains carbs. But it is the amount and the type that we have, right? The amount and type we have. For instance, we should try to have whole grains, you know, brown rice, oats, provisions, all of these, with, instead of our white products, instead of our white flour, instead of our white crackers and so on, you know. Why? Because of the fiber content.
Okay.
Right? The fiber is very important because help us slow the release of the blood sugars.
Okay.
Yeah?
And they talk about the sugar in the fruits as well,
Yeah.
have the sugar, but as you
Yeah.
said, balance
Right,
it
so-
out.
So, and this goes back to the food labeling. The amount of sugar that a male and a female requires per day. So, a male requires about 9 teaspoons of sugars per day. That's the maximum.
Okay.
And a female is about 6. And that same applies to kids as well.
Per day and
per
not
day.
in one,
Not
one
in one.
go.
So, sometimes one beverage we consume
Has all.
has all. And sometimes we do outreach programs where we showcase the amount of sugars present. Because sometimes we may not be familiar. We might be consuming a whole bottle, but we don't know how much sugar really is in it.
In it, and that's
Yeah?
the awareness about what you
awareness.
and this
Actually
program.
seeing.
Yeah.
Yeah?
And that's what this program is all about, educating, communicating, bringing awareness to the viewers out there, the parents, so sharing it today. So on that note, we will take a break for a good cause and we'll be right back. You are viewing The Right Fit. We're talking about healthy eating.
Kickoff savings are here at Southern Food Baskets. Fine Choice Calypso Pack, 2 for $29.95. Wow Straight Cut Fries, 1 kg, 2 for $19.95. Central Farms Duck, 4 pounds, 1 for $94.95. Swiss Barbecue Original and Hot and Spicy Spouch, 750 ml, 2 for $24.95. Catelli Pasta Cuts, 300 grams, 5 for $19.95. Catelli Macaroni, 400 grams, 3 for $18.95. Shop now at Southern Food Baskets, where every deal is a goal. Offers available while stocks last. Kickoff savings are here at Southern Food Baskets. Richport veggies assorted, 450 grams, 2 for $23.95. Creamery ice cream gallons, regular flavors, 2 for $99.95. Lucozade pans, 250 ml, 4 for $19.95. Pepsi, 7-Up, Juicy, White Rock, 500 ml, 7 for $19.95. Easy Wrap foil, 25 feet, 2 for $19.95. Double duty garbage bags medium, $17.95. Shop now at Southern Food Baskets, where every deal is a goal. Offers available while stocks last.
Never too early, never too late to recharge and hydrate. Get your daily dose the right way. Grab our Oasis, now why wait? Never too early, never too late to recharge and hydrate. Get your daily dose the right way. Grab our Oasis, now why wait? The greatest, the safest, Oasis for sure. Oasis, it's purer than pure.
Welcome back. You're viewing The Right Fit, and we are talking about healthy eating with registered dietitian, Mr. Ahmad Shah. And prior to the break, we were talking about healthy eating, drinks, and so on. Let's go back to another slide where we are educating the public, and we're talking about fats here. Some people say, well, I don't like to eat fat. You have to eat fat. Fat important, not important. What should we do? What is the balance on the fats?
Good. So fats, even though it might have a bad name in a
Correct.
sense,
Yes.
right? It is a macronutrient, meaning your body needs this.
Okay.
Your body needs fat. It's just the type. Right? So you want to have more unsaturated fats.
And these are?
Yeah, you have your fish, avocado, eggs, nuts and seeds.
Right.
Right? And things like your saturated and your trans fats, those are in your convenience foods, your ultra-processed foods. These are things that you want to try and avoid as much as possible.
Pizza, pies, cookies, wafers.
Yeah? Your meats, your fatty meat. That would include all your processed meats, your sausages and your hot dogs and so on.
Avoid.
Yeah?
Okay.
Avoid as much as possible.
Okay.
Yeah, but it is still necessary. It's still important for growth. It's still important for your brain and functioning and so on.
Okay. And then trans fat, you talk about the meat, the butter, cream cheese, and lard. Avoid these, less of these.
Yeah.
Okay. And our next slide, we're talking here, different food groups, fats, ways to reduce saturated fats.
Yeah, so as I said, the unsaturated fats is something that you want to have more of in your diet, such as those images that you see on the screen there. But you'd like to have more of your low-fat options if you have in your dairy and your yogurt, your milk and so on.
Okay.
That would reduce the amount of calories you have and so on as well.
Okay.
You can top your salads, eat your nuts and seeds and so on is a good option as well.
Instead of salad dressing or healthy dressing, which is olive oil.
Yeah.
And instead of putting all the fatty dressings, you could use the nuts. And I know it adds
Yeah.
a crunch to it and it makes it tastier. Some people say they don't like the salad when you use the greens, the lettuce or the greens
Yeah, alone.
alone.
Yeah.
And you could make it a crunchy thing. You use
Exactly.
cabbage and you add nuts on it and
Yeah.
you're making it healthier, in other words.
So you have different ways you could
Make,
try to.
and we are appealing to parents out there, householders, start making healthier meals because it has a repercussion later on life or earlier too, because you're saying that young children with diabetes now
Yeah.
or obese children we are
Obese
having
children,
too.
a lot. And the types of food sometimes that we see common in the schools and in the shops and the supermarkets and so on can affect children, their brain function and all
The
those kind of
fast
things.
food, the quick
fast
fix.
food, yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
I mean, now and then, as you said, you're busy and you're really in a crunch, you could get the fast food, but not everyday eating.
Not every day.
And some of them addicted to the fast food out there. So again, getting good habits in your children and yourself would be, in the long run, make you a healthier person. And I think we have one more slide. Protein, which
Yeah.
is key to everything else.
Protein is very, very important. And sometimes the lack of can be very detrimental.
Okay.
Because some of the foods we tend to eat, especially the ultra-processed foods and the snacks and so on, lack this important macronutrient. It is more loaded with fats and sugars, but it will lack the protein.
Proteins, especially
Yeah.
growing children, because
Yeah.
they need to build their muscles
Exactly.
and so on,
So
and
sometimes
bone.
you're snacking on all of these packet snacks for the entire day,
Correct.
but it doesn't have the protein, which
Protein
would
in it.
help in building and muscle function and all these things.
And you have it there on the slide. It keeps
Yeah.
the immune system strong,
Yeah.
transport and store nutrients, and our energy act as an energy. And you give them the source again of protein. So
Yeah.
every meal really should have a protein. And eggs are very easy to get to. All right, meats, fish, chicken. And some people are vegetarian, but they try to eat the legumes or soy or something like that. That makes it healthier for them. All right.
Yeah.
So locally, you can find these there. It's not something out of your reach.
Exactly.
It just takes some effort.
Yeah, and it can also be affordable too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to know how
What-
to shop,
how to-
what to buy. you know, those kind of things.
Correct.
Yeah.
You know, we talked about water, and a good question came up here. Is that, and I think I had a question here about many people drink soft drink, energy drinks, and sweetened juices. What the impact on your health? Let's talk about the energy drinks. Why and the impact?
But the energy drinks is part of sugar sweetened beverage as well. The amount of sugars present in that is very detrimental. And sugar is just one of the aspects in energy drinks. There's a lot of caffeine and there are a lot of additives as well in it.
Caffeine as well.
Yeah.
So it
right?
gives you that perk.
That boost that people think they might need, but it is not sustainable.
Okay.
Yeah, not sustainable, and sometimes you will have a crash, and then you will be dependent on it, and you keep doing it over and over. Heart rate will increase over time. Blood pressure will start going up. See, these things is a slow process. It creeps up on you. So over time, you can have it today, tomorrow, for the next few years, maybe. You might think you're doing well, but
Okay. And then we have Sadiqa in the studio, and she asks about electrolytes, drinks with electrolytes. How's that impact on your health?
it is not absolutely necessary for the general public. You know, the general person wouldn't require any additional electrolytes. It would be more necessary for persons who are athletes, who are competing and so on. You know, if you have a regular balanced diet, as we spoke about there before, you know, that will be sufficient. You'll get all your electrolytes, or your potassium, your magnesium, you know, etc., your sodium, etc., would be sufficient for you.
Because I recently had a surgery,
Yeah.
and they had to give you drips, which
Yeah.
would have the electrolytes. At that point, maybe
At that point,
you
correct.
need it then.
Yeah. So
Okay.
you see, when we see hospitalized patients and so on, for a period, you would need extra electrolytes, but it wouldn't be for a long-term basis.
No.
So some of these common products we see now is just a marketing scheme, thinking because the sun hot, they might need electrolytes, you know, these powders and so on. As I said, it has a purpose, but not for general public.
And you make a good point there, you know. People have to think critically when they are looking at ads,
Yeah.
especially drinks and food, and really do their research and check
Yeah,
to see
exactly.
if it's what it says is correct.
Everything must be verified. Not everything we see online is something that we should just take and run with it.
Nope,
As
correct.
I said before, we have to look at the verified sources of information when we try to seek advice on nutrition and any health-related topics.
What about coconut water? Is that a healthy drink? And I know it has electrolytes and
Yeah.
so on.
It is natural,
Right,
you know, it contains, as I said, electrolytes. It is from nature,
right.
yeah? So it is part of a healthy plan. You know, it can be healthy, but it also contain natural sugars. So the main thing with coconut water and coconuts and so on, in moderation, you know, in moderation.
What about diabetics?
Correct. Yeah,
Does it affect them?
it will. It will.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can't say, well, this is the only drink I can have because I can't have sugary drinks. No.
You don't feel you're drinking sugar,
Yeah.
but it has sugar.
And some person add sugar to it as well.
Oh my Lord, this
Actually,
point
I grew up, a member of my family used to be doing that. My mom used to do that.
add sugar to
Add
that.
sugar.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
So, no, it's something that we need to be mindful of.
So it's not to drink so many
No.
glasses of coconut water
Yeah.
per day, maybe
No,
one.
especially for persons who have
Diabetes.
diabetes and later on if you have any kind of kidney problems and so on.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So generally, for a healthy person, it can be part of a balanced diet. Yeah, you can have your coconut water occasionally and so on, but you can't. You know, you still stick to portion control and so on, like one glass.
And
Yeah.
another drink I talked about, and people ask about Morbi. It's bitter, so they
Yeah.
think that's probably good to drink. But can you comment on that one?
So Morbi, well, your store-bought versions
Uh-huh.
would be maybe
The
very
concentrate.
Yeah, the concentrate, and even if you make homemade as well. For some people make homemade juices and think, well, they're doing a good, but the amount of pot spoons of sugar they might add to these things would turn it from a benefit to a
Not so good to drink.
not so good drink.
Okay.
Yeah, so it is a good drink, but it's how you prepare it and the quantity you have. Yeah.
That brings me to a point. Somebody talk about sorrel, and sorrel is very acidic.
Yeah.
And you have to put lots of sugar to
Lots of sugar.
sweeten it.
Yeah.
And when you drink that, you figure you're drinking, okay, a healthy drink, it's sorrel. But then you have loaded with sugar,
Yeah. Again, sorrel, it's part of our culture.
right?
So it's something that we will have.
Definitely.
We cannot say no, right? But it's
Yes.
how we balance it. You can have your sorrel,
Mm-hmm.
but as I said, it contains all the sugars, added sugars plus
Added sugar,
natural
yeah.
sugars. So you should try to balance it. When you're having it, you can have it with a, with your meal and so on. That doesn't contain so much carbs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or in between your meals, you can have it and try to watch the amount you have. Try to limit. Don't overindulge. Like for instance, we are in the mango season right now.
Oh, yeah.
So you don't want to say, well, this is once a year, so I want to
Eat.
overconsume, have a whole
Correct.
bucket. No, we try to stick with moderation as we try to focus on.
And the lesson here is moderation. The
Correct.
topic, make sure, do everything in moderation.
Exactly.
Okay? And, we're talking here about adults and their eating, but I want to talk about a little bit about children and family nutrition. What's the most important nutrition habits parents should teach their children? We kind of glimpsing at it as we went along here, but be direct here with this one.
So parents, as you mentioned, parents should start inculcating that for themselves. Usually children observe, they follow based on what they see. So if the parents, you can't say, drink water and I have my sugar sweet beverage here. No, it doesn't work like that. Parents need to start from themselves, slowly, even if you yourself might have to make changes, start making small changes. Try to reduce the amount of sugar sweetened beverage you have. Drink more water. If you're feeling for a fizz, you can have sparkling water. You can have these, infusions.
Yeah.
Yeah, cucumber, lemon,
Yes.
soda. You can add club soda to it and make a little
Fizzy drink.
fizzy
for it.
drink if you
and
so
I like
desire.
that idea, adding lemon or cucumber,
Yeah.
a healthier,
Yeah.
cooling drink. And yet
And
some
you can
people,
add different spices. You can add mint. You can add
Cinnamon.
cinnamon.
yes,
I
do
usually
that.
add clove and cinnamon to my water.
I add it to
Yeah.
my tea in the
Yeah.
morning.
So all of these are options.
So these little tips for
Little tips.
healthier drinks, especially.
Yeah.
Some of us say we don't like water because it's bland.
Yeah.
And you could spice it up a little bit and get yourself and your child to eat.
Yeah.
What about their lunches? Can you give them a little tip here about healthier lunch?
So it goes back to planning, putting things in place from in advance, ensuring that you make a plan what you would have, what you would give. You don't want to depend on waking up on the day and figuring out what to do. Something simple as a bread and a sandwich, bread and a tuna
Cheese,
paste, or
tuna.
these kind of things. Ensuring that they have healthy snacks for them.
The
'Cause,
snacks.
Yeah, the snacks is very important because each lunch kit must have a snack. We all grown up.
Definitely.
Yeah, but it's the type of snacks that we put in the lunch kit. You can include fruits, chow, cut it up in small, nice shapes for the kids.
I like that idea. Yeah, and
different
everybody
ways.
like a chow.
Exactly. Yogurt,
Right.
cricks and cheese, all of these things.
Healthier
Yeah.
snacks instead of the packaged snacks.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
So parents, listen carefully
Yeah.
and make a lifestyle change, starting with your child out
Yeah,
there.
and try to also have them involved.
In preparing it.
Involved in preparing.
You could put it in a Ziploc for
Exactly.
the week, and these are your snacks.
They can even assist in packing their own lunch kits.
Of course, and that's
to
good
help
for
you
them.
out too as well. Yeah.
Good growing up habits and
Exactly.
responsibilities as well, starting there,
Starting small.
small.
And even in the school cafeteria as well, they should try to have better policies and better guidelines regarding what is to be sold in the
I
schools
agree.
and so on.
We need to look at that, and that's for a topic for another day and
Another
other
day.
personnel
Correct.
to correctly look at that, and that is where it starts because a lot of time children don't carry lunch they have to buy lunch, and we
Yeah.
don't know. I mean, I know they sell the roti, they sell all kinds of things.
Exactly.
So try to
Exactly.
make it healthier there,
Yeah.
and the drinks and so on. So that's a topic for that
For another day.
another day, and
But-
probably other personnel to come
Correct.
to talk about the school cafeteria here. Okay, how would you know that a child is not getting the right nutrients they need?
So sometimes what we might see is children may come in for poor weight gain. Yeah, they may not be gaining appropriate weight for their age. You know, they may not be gaining enough height. Sometimes you might see physical signs, dark circles under their eyes,
Okay.
brittle hair, pale skin. You know, their eyes might be discolored and so on. You know, so all of these are signs. Sometimes you even may not be physical. Sometimes you might see behavioral.
Ah, that's important.
Exactly. So sometimes parents might say, my child is not concentrating in school. They're not focusing.
Okay.
They might wonder why. It can be lack of or poor nutrition as well. You may not be getting enough protein, enough vitamins, minerals. So all of these is a holistic effort that needs to be taken, not just diagnose them with certain conditions, but look at it from an angle where everything is taken into consideration.
Of course, and children and their education is prime priority.
Priority,
So we make sure
Yeah.
that they are healthy
healthy,
and they are
correct.
getting the right food in the right amounts. Now, we have people, as you say, with diabetes, hypertension, high cholesterol, all of these things. What nutrition advice you would want to give to these people?
So generally, I would recommend what we discussed before. That's a good starting point.
Okay.
If you can adjust your plate, first of all, adjust your plate, like the healthy plate that we spoke about before. Just to reiterate, half of which being your vegetables, be it cooked or uncooked. Quarter of your plate being your staple foods, your rice, your pasta, your breads, oats, crackers, those kind of things. And quarter of your plate being your protein, which is your foods from animals, or if you are vegetarian or so on, your peas and beans as well. And the beverage of choice should always be water, or at least try and reduce the amount of sugar sweetened beverages you consume on a daily
Especially-
basis.
And the water is important because we have had some extremely hot days in the past, and sometimes it is here, and we need to, as they say, rehydrate,
Rehydrate, correct.
and get your water involved here.
Yeah.
You know, and people say they're trying to change their lifestyle. They struggle to to stick to healthy eating. How can they build better habits, eating habits? You know, they struggle. They try something and they gone back to the old page. What would you advise them here?
I guess all of us struggle from time to time regarding maintaining certain habits and, you know, in all facets of life, be it personal and so on, right? But what you can try is to never give up. Always restart. Don't think, well, I don't reach here, so I can't, you know, start over. And as I said before, try to maintain that 80-20 kind of principle. Try to be consistent. You know, leave room. Don't be too hard on yourself. Don't be too strict. Leave room for a little fun. You know, food is not just about,
Strict.
you know, strict and so on. As I said, food is part of our culture.
Yep.
You know, it is about what we eat, how much we eat, you know. So try to maintain that consistency, give room for little leeway. You know, you have occasions and so on. Always try to ensure that you maintain some portion control and balance. Moderation.
Important balance here. So time has really crept up on us. If you had to give one simple practical tip to Trinidad and Tobago to eat healthier, start today, what will it be?
It wouldn't even have to do with eating. It can just simply be reducing that sugar sweetened beverages is very, very critical because it's so common. It's so common. It provides no proper nutrition for us. Sometimes you might drink a lot of things and you wouldn't feel anyway because it doesn't provide that fiber and vitamins and minerals and so on. It's very critical, and from that it can lead to many other conditions. So that is one thing.
Yep.
If people could try and reduce or avoid fully,
So that's your tip of
that
the
is
day.
the tip of the day.
All
Correct.
right. And where can they find? I know you mentioned in the beginning.
Yeah.
Some places where they could get reliable guidance and support.
Yeah. So as the slide showcased, the Ministry of Health usually provides reliable information. Each of the RHAs in the country, from time to time, post different newsletters and events and nutrition education for the public.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can also follow the pages,
Okay.
of the different RHAs, and you'll see from time to time different tips and so on from a local standpoint. And if you want to see what's going on in the world, you can check WHO
Right.
and different organizations as well.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your expertise and your tips with us today. All right, so dear viewers, this is it on healthy eating. I hope you gain some sort of information and you know where to find more information about small changes, smart choices, and a little awareness can make a big difference. Take care of yourself, take care of your families, and remember, your health is your wealth. In closing, I want to say thank you to my guest, Mr. Ahmed Shah, a registered dietitian. Thanks to Almighty Allah for today, for giving us health to be here. Thanks to our crew and the back, Siddiq and Siddiqa, and even Siddiqa lend a question to us. All right, be viewing Monday at 8 p.m. and with a rerun on Saturday at 5 p.m. Join us again next week when we talk about Hajj and your reflections. And I invite those of the pilgrims who return home. If you would like to be on this program, give me a call at 680-9635, or you can call the studio at 645-4426. Assalamu alaikum and good night.
Construction Services and Supplies Limited has built a reputation over the years on reliability, honesty, and pride, with a qualified and experienced workforce to oversee all projects, commercial, industrial, and institutional. We deliver the highest quality designs, build and remodel equipped for the pulse of construction needs. Construction Services and Supplies Limited, 1324 Southern Main Road in Rapo, 648-8882. That number again, 648-8882. Construction Services and Supplies Limited. We are proud to partner with you.
For the everyday lowest prices on all grocery items, trust Low Cost Supermarket for the widest variety of quality products at low prices. Freshly picked fruits and vegetables, healthy products for your well-being, high quality meat cuts, and a warm and friendly service. Low Cost Supermarket, Southern Main Road, Cunupia.
Enjoy Nice's family of fine foods, including our Jamaican-style patties. This complements Nice's range of premium chicken burger patties, lamb patties, beef hot dog, and our smoked beef and lamb sausages. Also, you can try Nice's halal gummy bears, available at leading supermarkets and at Nice's wholesale outlet. You can also shop for grocery and household items. Nice brand products, 23 Beocal Road, Cunupia. Telephone 665-3078 or 665-3079. Nicer is nicer.
Fruitopia, the drink that rocks your lunchtime. Fruitopia, Fruitopia, it's a drink that's high. The citrus punch, fruit punch tastes nice. Guava, pineapple, that give me a vibe. We no want nothing less compared to the rest. Fruitopia the best. Punch any test when it comes to the test. Perfect thing for my lunch. Flavors pack a punch. Fruitopia, Fruitopia, it's a drink that's hype. The citrus punch, fruit punch tastes nice. Fruitopia, the drink that rocks your lunchtime.
Try our new passion fruit flavor today. Taste the passion.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
ويقول الإنسان الإنسان أإذا ما مت لسوف أخرج حيا أولا يذكر الإنسان أنا خلقناه من قبل ولم يك شيئا فوربك لنحشرنهم والشياطين ثم لنحضرنهم حول جهنم جثيا.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه ما بعد. So we are now resuming our Day of Judgment series. For those of you that are watching this live, you know that we took a bit of a break because of Hajj and other things going on. For those of you that are watching many months or years from now and just watching continuously, make dua for all of us, and I make dua for you as well. So we are now resuming after a bit of a hiatus. So for those of you that are watching regularly, I do need to pause here and do a quick recap that alhamdulillah, in the last so many lectures we have done quite a lot of stages and details of the Day of Judgment, from the actual resurrection of from the grave to the buruz in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the presentation. We have done the hisab, or the actual judgment. We have done the issue of the scrolls, the issue of the mizan, the opportunity for excuse. Last lessons we did the hawd, or the drinking from the fountain of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And so all of this has now come, and according to our knowledge of what we have in the Quran and Sunnah, we're getting to the end of what we know of what's going to happen on the Day of Judgment. We're basically winding down here and getting to the next stage. And the next stage is of course going to be Jannah. We ask Allah Azza wa Jal for that, or we seek Allah's refuge, Jahannam. And the beginnings of that winding down are going to take place by gathering people according to the camps that they were in. And so what's going to happen is the demarcation of various groups of people, the segregation or the separation of groups of people. And the believers will be one group, and all of those who believed in other gods, they would be resurrected in accordance with the gods that they believed in. I.e., on that day, at this time frame, people will be separated based upon their gods, which is based upon their religions. And therefore, this will demonstrate for us the real separation. And those who worshipped other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, those who rejected the worship of Allah, they will be separated from the believers. And the Quran mentions that they will then be, and we mentioned this previously, that they will be dragged on their faces to Jahannam. There will come a point in time where they will be made blinded and deaf and dumb. There will come a point in time where their senses will be operating. Again, I explained in the previous lectures that there will possibly be variations during that time frame. And they're going to feel Jahannam, sense Jahannam, see Jahannam. They will beg Allah Azza wa Jal to come back at that stage again. And they will also, at that stage as well, they will regret. قَالُوا يَا لَيْتَنَا نُرَدُّ وَلَا نُكَذِّبَ بِآيَاتِ رَبِّنَا. That they're going to regret, how woe to us, how we wish we can go back in this world and that we don't have to see all of this punishment. And each group will be resurrected following its gods and its leaders, the false gods and the false leaders. Every single group shall be resurrected based upon the people whom they looked up to, the religions that they followed, the gods that they worshipped. And Allah Azza wa Jal mentions this multiple times in the Quran, and it is mentioned in the Sunnah as well. For example, in Surah Safat, verse 22, احشروا الذين ظلموا وأزواجهم وما كانوا يعبدون من دون الله فاهدوهم إلى صراط الجحيم. Gather and resurrect those who did wrong to themselves and their helpers, and gather them with those whom they worship besides Allah, and then usher them into Jahannam. فَهْدُمْ إِلَى صِرَاطِ الْجَحِيمِ وَقِفُوهُمْ إِنَّهُمْ مَسْئُولُونَ, and cause them to stop. They will be questioned about what they have done. And Allah mentions in the Quran about the people of Fir'aun in Surah Hud, verse 98. يَقُدُمُ قَوْمَهُ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ فَأَوْرَدَهُمُ النَّارِ. He shall lead his people on the Day of Judgment, and their end result is going to be the fire of hell. He shall lead the people. يَقُدُمُ قَوْمَهُ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ. So Fir'aun is going to be the leader of his people. Anybody who looked up to Fir'aun, anybody who worshipped Fir'aun, anybody who took Fir'aun as a false god, anybody who followed that religion will be resurrected upon the leaders of that religion, and their false gods will be there as well. Those who worship the sun, those who worship the moon, they will see either the actual sun and moon or a replica of that, and they're going to be told to go to that area. Those who worshipped other than Allah Azza wa Jal will be resurrected according to their false gods. And what I wanted to do today, and alhamdulillah, one of the things that I thank Allah for, that when we have these types of classes in my lengthy series, that I'm not pressured for time, and so we can discuss things that are relevant without having to worry about, oh, I have to finish this and whatnot. No, today inshallah ta'ala, what I'm going to discuss one of the most important traditions about the Day of Judgment in detail, and I've done this in previous lectures as well, and today we're going to do one of those as well. It is a muttafaq alayh Bukhari and Muslim hadith, and it is the lengthy hadith from Abu Sa'id al-Khudri radiyallahu ta'ala an that describes multiple things about the Day of Judgment, and we have discussed bits and portions of it from the beginning, and we have left certain things to the end. So today I wanted to pause here and do this entire hadith from the words of our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and then inshallah in our next lesson we shall resume the next stage, which is going to be the issue of the sirat, or the issue of crossing over the bridge. So today's lecture is about the division of mankind and what's going to happen. And this hadith in particular, even though it talks about other things, but it spends the most amount of time talking about these divisions. And it is a hadith reported by Abu Sa'id al-Khudri in Bukhari and Muslim. And I will be narrating the version in Sahih Muslim, and in my edition, it is hadith number 453. That Abu Sa'id al-Khudri said, أن ناسا في زمن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قالوا يا رسول الله هل نرى ربنا يوم القيامة. A group of people asked the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, will we see Allah Azza wa Jal on the Day of Judgment? And the Prophet sallallahu